Hi everyone, today I'm doing a video on what's in my son's reading basket for this week. I have books that is suitable for children ages 2 and up, and let's look at what we have. So the very first set of books that I have here are these Indestructibles, which are chew-proof, rip-proof, non-toxic and 100% washable. And I have been using these books, I've been giving them to my son since he was 5 months old maybe, and they have held up really well. These are machine washable and they've held up really well, and they have some really cool illustrations, and we talk about these animals and stuff like that now. And then this one is about baby faces, so we talk about expressions and we try to make those expressions and we talk about it. So I think these kinds of books can really encourage a lot of conversation and give them practice in trying out new words and understanding new words. So I include this in most of his reading baskets because I know he'll want to flip through them at least once before we get to any other book. So let's look at what's next. So the next we have is the Bruno series, and it's from Shri Book Publications, and they have, I think, 6 titles. So these are really cute stories. They teach good morals, and you can most of the pictures are self-explanatory, and they really teach good values for children, and my kiddo loves looking through them, and he wants me to read them out every single time. And you can take as much time as you want with these books. You can probably swap out the character names with the names of your child and your child's friends and stuff like that. And the artwork is very cute and adorable, and it's all about things that your child can relate to, things that will happen with your child on a day-to-day basis, and some things you can help, some things you cannot help. And it teaches your child how to behave and what to do and what's right and what's wrong. So I think that's really good. I wish they had more in this series, but they have 6 and we have 5 of them. So these are really good. I really recommend these books. The next we have is the Peppa series, and just like the Bruno series, my kiddo is really fond of these books as well. And even they have topics from day-to-day life, topics that your child can easily relate to, situations your child can easily relate to and learn from. So even they teach good values and good morals and right and wrong and things like that. So we have topics like Peppa wants too many toys. That's the problem with my kiddo. And we usually tend to swap out the name of Pepper with his name, and the Pepper's friends with the names of my son's friends, and that makes the book really interesting for him. So Pepper learns to take turns, eats too much cake, and again you can take as much time as you want with these books. You can go into detail, explain everything, or you can just make it a quick short 2-minute read, 5-minute read, or whatever. My son usually prefers to pick out the books that he likes, that he wants to read, and we will usually finish the entire pile of the Pepper and Bruno series before he's done for the day. So these are really good to have with you, because not only will they teach your child good things and let them learn new things from everyday situations, but it will also help them practice their reading as well and learn sight words like no and yes and mama and the common words. So I think this is really good for the long-term basis when your child actually starts reading words, and it will be good for practice. So the artwork is really good, and this one is my kiddo's favorite. He even loves acting out this entire story with me. when we read it. So I think it's been really, really worth it. You get this for, I think, yeah, it's 50 rupees, and it's been completely worth it. So it's a good thing to invest in. Let's look at the next one. So because my son was so fond of the Pepper series, and there are quite a few titles in this series, I decided to go to the shop and see if I can find more books. And these were some other Pepper books that I found, which are not by the same publication. These are from a different publication. This is from Shri Book Center, and the artwork, as you can see, is very different, and so is the storyline. So my son didn't find it very interesting. I didn't find it very interesting, and these books just simply sit at the back of his pile and they never get read. And I just wanted to show you that there's a difference between the kind of Pepper books that you get. So when you're checking them out at the store or placing an order online, just make sure to go through the book and just check out which book it actually is. So let's see the next one. So the next book I have in my reading basket is Read It Yourself series from Ladybird Books, level 1 and level 2, one of each, and these are the hardback books. And this one is on cars. Again, transport is a favorite with boys generally. So this is all about different kinds of cars, old cars, new cars, limousines and racing cars and monster trucks and everything. So it explains where each kind of car is used and how they are different and which ones are slow and fast and everything. So it's a good read, and my kiddo loves flipping through them. And we will talk about cars and which kind of cars he wants to buy and stuff like that. And then this is On the Farm, and this has a lot of topics to talk about. So if you're trying to engage your child in a conversation, you're discussing things, letting them practice vocabulary and stuff like that. So I think this is a really good book. And you can talk about everything from how the sheep looks to what the tractor is doing and how the cow gives milk and what we get from the sheep, mama and baby, and seeing how they're feeding the baby animal and what's happening, harvesting, sowing, what's made. So there's a lot of things you can talk about, and I think this book is really, really good for an older toddler. It's a must-have in my reading basket. Now, in the Read It Yourself series, I also have one more book, which is actually a paperback, and it is also reading level 2, but you can see the difference in size. So that's how big it is. And I really don't mind paperbacks. I am not very fond of hardbound books because they weigh a lot more than paperbacks, and they end up taking a lot of space too. And I like having space in my cupboard for storing more books. So this one has big full spread pages with pictures of vehicles, diggers and tractors, and what they do and how it is used and where it is used and everything. So I really think this is a very, very good book for toddlers to have, because it can teach them a lot about the toy vehicles that they play with, and it can open up their imagination to a lot of things. My kiddo can name all of these vehicles. So I would really recommend getting the paperback books more than the hardbound one. It's because of the size. Otherwise the book is the same, and I think they also cost the same. This is 150 and this is 99. Okay, these cost lesser than these books, but I don't mind investing because I think the concept of having full spread pictures, big pages, is really nice because the text is also big. And when your young reader is learning to learning sight words and learning to identify, read each word, I think the bigger size letters can be helpful. The smaller ones might look scattered and quite forbidding, but I think the bigger ones can make it look easier. So that's it. Let's look at the next one. Then I also have a car themed book from Usborne Young Reading, and this is the same size as the Ladybird books, or maybe slightly larger than that. And this is all about the history of cars and how they came about, how the cars were invented and everything. So my kiddo is not that fond of the stories right now, but we do look at the pictures and we discuss all that. So it's quite a thick book and it's got a lot of information, and I would recommend this for older children, like not toddlers, children maybe 4 and 5 years old and above, because I think they might find it more interesting than younger toddlers. So that's one book. Then I have this book that I found at a book sale, and I got it really cheap, but this is quite nice. It's the Runway Engine, and the story starts. It's a nice story about a train and how it picks up people and all that. So that's I'll try to find the link for you and put that in the description box below. Then I have a Step Into Reading series, and that's like this is level 1, and then I have level 2 and 3 level 1s. So it's wheels, and this is all about wheels, big wheels and what sort of wheels, monster wheels and wide wheels. So your child can learn a lot about wheels, and it's again transport themed, and that's the reason I got this for him. And this is all about this is just like the Ladybird book, but this is more with the rhyming scheme, and rather than explain what it actually does, it tells you the sounds of it, like that the vehicle makes and stuff like that. So, and it also works on different perspectives, so you can see that this picture is from the top angle, and while this one is from a straight angle. So it's okay, it's not wow, but it's a good book to flip through. And then we have Wake Up Son, and this is all about it's a really cute story about everyone like the dog is waiting for the sun to rise up, and all the animals are searching for the sun. So it's a good story to read. And then this is all about boats, different kinds of boats, and I think this is a really good take on the classic transport themed books, because it really talks about different kinds of boats, and you can also explain and talk about where it is used and why it is used and the differences between them and stuff. So let's move on.